What's up, everybody? It's Daycon here, Built by Nation Studios. Hey, I'm here. Just wanted to come and chop it up with y'all for a second. Actually, I just came in here to mess with this new toy y'all viewing me on. Just as I'm looking at it, we got to dial it in and get used to all the equipment, you know what I'm saying? And while I was doing it, I turned on these lights and I kind of got inspired and realized that it's been a couple of weeks since we dropped any content. So I owe it to y'all, the nation, and I owe it to myself to get in these reps so I can become a better communicator, especially with the ideas that I've been having lately and that I'm trying to put in place. So that's why I'm here right now. Hey, I'm gonna put in this work because let's be transparent. My comfortability is being behind these cameras, but like I said, I got some things in place that I'm trying to get together, trying to reach out to a couple people, currently, what I'm saying, to get this thing jump started. So with that being said, I gotta get better with my verbal communication, you know what I'm saying? If you know me, hey, I'm not a talkative person, but that's just something that I want to work on because as an observer, I observe a lot of things. So there's a lot of things that I can share that may help somebody and it'll help me, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's all about growth. So, like I said, I owe it to myself to be putting in these reps. I feel like a professional, they say professionals spend more time putting in practice than they do actually performing. So this right here is me practicing. So if I look back at it, look back, that didn't sound right. But if I, review this footage, it's just kind of like watching film. I can see where I can get better at and, things that I can adjust. And also, y'all out there, y'all can see things, that and give me some constructive criticism on ways that I can get better. So, hey, I ain't afraid of it. I'm gonna put this out. It's a short video, but hey, it's all works. All works. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, just grow with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't even know what I could talk about. But we gonna talk about something, man. Let's get into these gems. Speaking on what I just said, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know, like me being in front of this camera, not really, especially not having a specific topic that I really wanted to cover. But if this goes over well and y'all feeling this, maybe I might continue it, you know what I'm saying? And dial it in some more, you know what I'm saying? Get it to a point that it flows good. Let me see what I could call this. We'll call this to whom it may concern. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. To whom it may concern. Hey, and if y'all like it, we'll continue it. Y'all can watch me grow. Yeah, let's do that. If y'all just leave a comment. Watch this cringe piece of content right here and just communicate with me and send some suggestions. I kind of like that. To whom it may concern. I guess this could kind of be like somewhere I come drop gems and stuff like that. But also, with that being said, I don't want to be sitting up here all serious, goofy as the next person. You know, that's probably why I observe way more than I talk, because y'all might be the same way. I have goofy thoughts a lot, you know what I'm saying? So half the time, you know what I'm saying? I don't, never mind. But yeah, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You're capable of doing a lot more than you know, a lot more than you give your self credit for. And most definitely, there's things that you want to kind of, if there's things creatively or just avenues that you want to start exploring, you just got to Of course, like anywhere you want to go, the first thing you got to go is start just point that direction, and that's you're already in a good position at that point because you can't go anywhere if you're not pointing in the right direction. So, like I said, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Um, Quit putting it off. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be to this point. You know what I'm saying? Look at this, and this is just the beginning. So, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this out the way. But if this is just the beginning, then I'm happy to where this thing can go. And it's gonna go because it ain't no doubt in my mind because we're gonna put in this work, man. And while I'm saying that, shout out to Jay Comp, man, my brother, you know what I'm saying? The most integral part of this nation business, man. And this build by nation thing, hey, I'm here to put in work to see that it grow to the best capabilities. And so yeah, enough of that. So the first gem that I had is just be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you will hear a lot of entrepreneurs and just people in general say you just gotta start. You start and then you figure it out. You make your mistakes along the way, but you just gotta start. You know what I'm saying? That's the most major hindrance, I think, a lot of times. Um, I've probably been looking at the wrong camera. So y'all, mind you, like I said, I'm my self producer tonight. So hey, I'm gonna get it together. And like I said, this piece of audio, piece of content right here might be a little off, but it's a start. And like I said, it's all about starting. Um, that was a good gym. Oh yeah. Let me see. Let's look into my notes and see if there's anything that I wrote down recently. And that's a tip that I want to before I look into my phone, look at my notes. Start writing down your ideals. Start writing down your goals, of course. I know a lot of y'all, a lot of y'all know that, of course. But sometimes it's good to hear that again. I had to get into the habit of writing down my goals because a lot of times I'm out in the world at work or something like that, and I might have a idea that I feel like is genius at the time, and I might not remember to write it down because I'm thinking, oh, I remember that. I ain't got too many more hours at work, so I remember it. Then I get home, then I'm trying to remember it or whatever, and then it doesn't, it's gone at that point. So get make it a habit. Add this to your tool. You know what I'm saying? Tools to start writing down your thoughts and ideas because you might miss out on a genius, something genius and something that can help somebody, even if it's not for you. You might be able to pass that idea along to somebody that, might find more use out of it. But if you don't write it down, you forget it. It's not doing anybody else any good, you know what I'm saying? So that's another gem. Yeah, start writing down your ideas. A lot of the times I write them down in my phone, but through books and stuff like that, they say write them down manually, write them down, keep your journal or something with you because much easier it's much easier to get to, instead of having to open up apps or whatever, where it might be in the back of your mind and you might not even think about doing that, opening up this app, especially when the apps that you open up the most are your social media apps. So yeah, keep your journal or whatever it is. Get you a whiteboard, put it on your wall. Just start writing down your thoughts and ideas, whatever it takes, and start putting some of that stuff into the universe. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me look into my phone real quick and see if there's anything that I wrote down recently that can help. See, I'm in my notes right now. You can't see that, but yeah, I'm in my notes. Got a lot of them. Mm, see something. That might be a good idea. Oh, okay. One of the most recent things, and it might sound crazy, but one of the most recent things I wrote down is be, and I don't think I completed the thought. Is be careful how much energy you give to things, and that's important, and that can mean a lot of different things. And I don't necessarily like how I wrote that because you hear this type of talk a lot, and I don't think it really don't really matter. But what I guess I didn't even finish the thought because I ended up with ended it with To, so I'm pretty sure I had more to the thought. But I guess what I if I'm thinking about what I possibly was thinking in that moment, it's more so about I see a lot of people, and I too have most definitely found myself stretched too thin, whether it's just me thinking about things like this, wanting to be successful, wanting to start something. Um, yeah, just wanting to start something, and then you get too into your thoughts um, on how to start, or not having the necessary skills, or having the money. Just a lot of things, and you find yourself completing your everyday task and things like that, and you're not giving your full energy to the task at hand because you got so many things going on in your brain. So you really got to be careful and be mindful of where you're transferring your energy at each point of each day, because you only got so much that you can allocate to things, you know what I'm saying? Whether, and of course, just naturally with so many things that we got to deal with, whether it's the job, your personal life, family, friends, you know what I'm saying? Anything, whatever it is, everything that you're involved with is energy. So therefore, um, you really got to manage it to the best of your ability, because if you find yourself stretched too thin, understand that uh, kind of like a computer situation, you can burn yourself out, and you might not always know that you stressed out, but just by overstretching yourself and giving your energy to too many things, or just giving too much energy to one thing, that could be just as bad. Because if you know what I'm saying, we can go into that, but just be mindful and understand. Like I said, it's real easy to do in the current times because you have so many things that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you have so many things that you're dealing with on a daily basis. So it's easy to, you know, commit all your energy to everything outside yourself. And I guess that's the main point I want to say is just how you gotta prioritize yourself at some point. It's cool to, give your energy here and there. It's necessary a lot of times. Like when it comes to doing your job to the best of your ability, you gotta focus your energy on that task. And if you got so many thoughts going on in your brain, it's kind of hard to, you know, focus and give your best, um, do your best work. So like yeah, and like I said, you always got to prioritize yourself. And a lot of times people like to say selfish. People like to look at being selfish as a bad thing, but it's necessary because if you're not if you don't take care of yourself, how can you help anybody else? And I know a lot of times, just naturally, we want to, depending on who you are, you might want to, you like helping people. I think naturally as a human, you like helping people, but Like they say, you gotta sweep around your own front porch, or all them sayings. It's sayings at the end of the day, but it has meaning. You know what I'm saying? You can't take care of anybody else unless you're able to take care of self. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it just takes a reset when you find yourself stretched too thin. And I'm gonna just plug this in here, and it might not come out anytime soon, but we already have a guide, a centering guide. But before I put that out, I got a lot of work to do to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? But it's ready. You know what I'm saying? Even though it might seem like we not working, we working. We got so many things, so many ideas, and we chop it up about different things. So it's important to just continue to work even when it's not being seen. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, well, like I was saying about your energy, man. Be mindful of it. Sometimes just stillness. We don't understand the importance of just being still, just letting your brain relax. Hey, I wouldn't be saying this if I wouldn't have found myself at a point where I had to do this. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so yeah, just the importance of stillness. Just whether it's a weekend, whether you got to take off from work if you have a job, or you just have to shut off from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? For a moment of time. Whether it's a day, 2 days. The longer you can do it and not drive yourself crazy, do that. It's really gonna put you in a better place and have you making better decisions. And let's go into that. That could be the next topic. Making decisions. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. The importance of decision making. Um, it really is something that you have to get used to doing, and we whether we know we're doing it or not, we are. Um, but sometimes there's important decisions that we kind of hesitant on, or decisions that we could make that we might put off or decide not to make. You know what I'm saying? And it could be at times things that can lead us to a better place in life. Things that can, life is all about growth. It's all about experience, and sometimes we put off experiences that could, like I said, you point in a direction. You have these ideas, but sometimes you might not make the decision to get out there and start moving, and that can really have an effect on uh your mental health, and it's really not doing you anything positive necessarily if you're not making decisions. Um, yeah, so, and like I said, some of the decisions that you make, you really have to. I understand that some decisions that we make, we have to move with caution, of course. But you have discernment built in. You're not gonna put yourself in just harm's way. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, get used to making decisions because it's important. That's how we advance. You know what I'm saying? And when you make decisions, mistakes come with them, and that's fine. But we definitely have to make these, get into the practice of making decisions And I know I'm saying that a lot, but that's because I ain't I didn't come here with I didn't really come in here to be talking about decisions, but I don't know how I got here. Uh and that might be ADHD, whatever they will call it. You know what I'm saying? Working. I just kind of go down tunnels or start talking about something, and it might open up the door, and I'm gonna go with it, and that's fine. That's just y'all just gonna have to go with that. You know what I'm saying? But but yeah, decision making is very important. It's how you advance in life. It's how you become the best version of yourself. Like I said, with those decisions, sometimes comes mistakes, but mistakes are good. You know what I'm saying? The mistakes are what you learn from, how you learn um, not to make them same mistakes over and over again. This is how you learn because this is one thing that we find ourselves doing whenever we start wanting to do something or accomplish a goal. We want to learn everything about whatever it is that we're trying to do. And simply, or, which is good. I don't want to say that this isn't a good thing because it is good to find a mentor. Most definitely find somebody that knows or have done what it is that you're trying to do. That's going to help you avoid a lot of pitfalls that they might have had to deal with a lot of times. But you got to be careful with that because, of course, some people don't have your best interest all the time. You know what I'm saying? They only want to, of course, they want to capitalize off a situation. So you got to just play it to the best of your ability, use your discernment, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to have a mentor or somebody in place that's done what you are trying to do. But at the same time, you got to get out there and make the mistakes because they can't give you a road guide or a map because the way that is going to work for you, of course, is definitely going to probably be different from them, but they can open some doors, you know what I'm saying, for you. So, but it would never happen if you never make the decision. So we'll shut that down right there. Start making decisions. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Be careful and where you direct your energy and don't give too much outside of yourself where you lose yourself. So I think that's three good gems for tonight, you know what I'm saying? I think I might recall those a lot throughout this what I said it was to whom it may concern. But y'all let me know if y'all like this type of content. And like I said, this is only the beginning. I got a lot of growth, to do with talking on these mics, but I have a lot of ideas that I'm already currently putting in place. Those might be cringe too, but hey, it's all necessary, and I'm not afraid of doing the work. We came this far, and so therefore I owe it to the brand, I owe it to myself, I owe it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? To give y'all the best possible content that I possibly can. And there's a lot of things that I want to do, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things I want to bring exposure to. And it all starts with getting in here and doing the reps, you know what I'm saying? Putting in the work. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's Daycon over here at Built by Nation Studios. And hey, we'll holler at y'all soon, man. For real.